You're an angel witch. You're an angel witch. You're an angel witch. You're an angel witch.
Hello, welcome to the Psychosin project. Today I'm going to be reviewing one of my favourite games of the last few years on the Xbox 360, which is The Darkness. Some of you may have already played this. Obviously, I mean, it's been out a fair few years. The Darkness 2 is coming by, I believe it's the end of this year. It was revealed at E3, apparently looking absolutely amazing. But this is for those of you who either have heard about it or picked it up a few times, like in the news section, but have been a bit unsure about it. Basically, The Darkness is an FPS, but before you start thinking, oh god, not yet another bloody FPS, this is an FPS in the good tradition of, say, Half-Life and Half-Life 2. There's a very good story in this. It is based upon a dark style comic, and it's been translated very well from what I know. I will admit I've never read the comic, so therefore if you are indeed a fan of the comic yourself, you may think I'm totally wrong. I don't know. But it's probably one of the better comic conversions out there. I mean, I've been playing Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer movie game recently. We'll go into that in a later review. Let's just say not a AAA title. Anyway, in The Darkness, you play your character gets set up by your uncle, and basically loads of stuff goes on. And then you find that you've got this power in you called the Darkness, which is been passed down your bloodline throughout the generations. Now, I can't really speak too much about the story, because for those of you who haven't played it, then if I go into the story too much, it will ruin it, and it will ruin part of the fun of playing through it. Because trust me, when you really get into the game, you'll keep playing just to find out more and more of it. There's not really any cutscenes or anything. The game plays out, as I said, it's like Half-Life. You'll have characters talking to you, but you can still move around, you can control your head, control where you're aiming, everything like that while they're talking to you. And there's one or two cutscenes, that's usually while it's loading up a new place. The load times are pretty good, and the way they are hidden by the little sort of cutscenes, and they're very short. They're just sort of your character talking to the camera about previous experiences. Not overly long cutscenes, loading times even, sorry. So, yeah, anyway, I'll get off that. Basically, the character you play, his name is Jackie Estacado. Wait a minute, I've seen him before. It's Kevin Spacey. With long black hair. Fucking hell. Oh, there you go. You go for one day you're killing people with demons coming exploding at you. Next day you're doing films, underrated films, such as K-Pax. Probably a future review there. Anyway, you play Jackie Estacado, and you start basically with two of your uncle's gangsters driving you about because it's your 21st birthday, I believe. Basically, you have a car crash, you get hunted down by other gangsters, have a car crash, and you survive it somehow, but then you find out your uncle has basically betrayed you, and now wants to kill you, because the job he sent you out on, along with the other two who were driving the car, went tits up. And as you're trying to escape the first part of it, you'll get blown out of a building, literally blown, as in explosive, and you'll end up having to escape from the cemetery. While in the cemetery, you will find out you have access to this power deep within you that has manifested itself once you turn to 21, which is the darkness of the title. Basically, what the darkness is, it manifests itself in the game as two black demon heads that sort of spurt out of you like that, and to power it up, when you kill people, you have to go around, and once they're dead, you literally eat their hearts. The darkness will come out, eat the heart, and if you eat enough of them, your darkness powers will level up. That's pretty much the only RPG element in this game. Now, the story is totally involved. You control everything in this. You'd have to wait for cutscene after cutscene. The story's really, really dark and gripping. As I said, can't really explain too much of it. I mean, I've possibly revealed a bit too much already by that beginning, but you do kind of get an origin in the darkness, but nothing gets revealed too much or explained too much to give everything away. I don't know whether they're saving that for the Darkness 2 this year, if they're going to explain more, or whatever. To be honest with you, the way this game ends, they could have just left it as just a one-game deal. It wraps its own story up pretty nicely, so you don't get an ending where it's obvious sequel bait, like say at the end of Call of Duty Modern Warfare, where it ended and then you had that extra level on the plane that had absolutely no connection to the story. I'm not even entirely sure if that had a connection to the story in Modern Warfare 2. But anyway, you know what I mean by sequel bait. Basically, it ends on a cliffhanger, and then you got to wait 2-3 years to find out what happens if the game does well enough to warrant the sequel being made in the first place. The Darkness doesn't do this. I think it must have done pretty well for them to be making the sequel. I myself looking very forward to the sequel. Now, when the sequel comes out, there's one thing in particular I hope they keep, and that is that the Darkness itself is voiced by the one and only Mike Patton. Now, if you don't know who Mike Patton is, then you may well have heard him singing. He is in fact the singer of Faith No More. He does voiceover work now. He has his own little bands like Mr. Bungle, Phantomus and stuff like that. But yes, he voiced the Darkness, and I'm really hoping they've got him back to voice the Darkness again in the sequel. Anyway, as I said, you can probably pick this game up for about £5 to £7. More likely even cheaper than that, even used. I mean, there's no downloadable content or anything you need. Everything's in the game. The other thing I have to mention is that with the Darkness, you can conjure up demons. There's 4 types of demons who can either smash lights, fire lightning. One has a massive, quite a large minigun to help shoot the other enemies for you. The only downside to this game is the collectibles are a bit annoying if you go into the 1,000 achievements due to the basically you've got to find the collectibles and then you've got to find the phone and punch in all the numbers. Your best bet for that, go online, find the list of the numbers, do it that way to get all of them. Also one of them will unlock extra clothing for your minions basically. The only other downside to this game is that quite a lot of your ammo and your darkness power will be spent literally on just smashing lights, because your darkness is powered by the dark. If you're in light, you won't be able to conjure the darkness, or it will lose life, and therefore you can be killed easier. Hopefully they've kind of toned that down in the sequel. It did get a bit annoying when you had this massive, your darkness power completely upgraded, but you're having to shoot the lights out. Apart from that, it's a little bit unforgiving to begin with in some sections, but persevere. Absolutely brilliant game. Really didn't get the recognition it should have done. Go and check it out. I've been Psychosin. My next review will probably be, well, in fact, I know what it's going to be. My next review is going to be Alice Madness Returns. Anyway, finally, I've done this review as a fan request. So this one was for Abby, whose username on here I can't actually remember. Anyway, if you haven't joined the site already, come join my site, www.psychosinproject.com. If you're watching this on the site but haven't become a member, feel free to become a member, because as you've probably already seen, I have more videos on here than I do on YouTube. The other thing I'll say is I'm still looking for more people to do video reviews. If you're interested, contact me on the contact button on my website or on YouTube. Just send me a message and let me know you're interested, and we'll sort something out. Anyway, I've been Psychosin. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll speak to you again soon with that Alice Madness Returns review.
the same mistakes. It doesn't have to be like this.